Of Tony Blair. I mean, Tony Blair isn't the leader of the Labour Party. I'd just like to remind people about that. I didn't join the Labour Party when Tony Blair was leader, and I think we should be talking about the future and not looking at who's got us into this state. And I think if you look at what Andy Burnham's saying about the EU, the US-EU trade agreement, and that he would want that not to be part of the NHS, not to be part of that. I think Labour is listening to Louise as much as other people about this issue of privatisation, and Andy Burnham has said he wants to reverse the Health and Social Care Act. We need to keep the pressure on Labour in the shadow cabinet. We need to keep fighting, making those arguments to them, but we haven't got to 2015 yet. As far as competition is concerned, I don't believe competition is the panacea. You only have to look at British Rail to see that it doesn't necessarily make for better service to bring competition in. And I know people who work at Charing Cross, and they say, for example, in the delivery of drugs and equipment to wards, this is now done by DHL. I don't really see how DHL knows much about drugs and equipment. So it isn't necessarily the ideal way of doing things, and I don't agree with it myself. The other thing was mentioned was the money. Earlier someone mentioned the money raised from the hospital. I saw an answer from NHS North West London in which they said the money raised from the sale of the land will not necessarily go back into new property. So it would go perhaps to the exchequer without getting back into health care. So I think we can say that the money isn't necessarily going back into it, and therefore it's very dodgy what's going on. It's very dodgy, to say the least. What else was there? Well, the luxury flats thing to me is the most disgusting part of this. Earls Court Exhibition Centre being knocked down for luxury flats. All of that redevelopment in Hammersmith and Fulham. We don't need any more luxury flats. It's not about needs here, it's about money, and we should be looking at what we use our buildings for, not just for making money for private companies. Anyway, back to you.
Thanks, Crispin.